Hey everyone, and welcome back to our tarot series. Today, we're getting our hands dirty with one of the most diligent, most grounded cards in the entire deck, the Knight of Pentacles. He's all about that slow and steady, see it through to the end kind of energy.
You ever get that feeling where you're stuck on a project, just wondering if you have what it takes to get to the finish line? Well, if you're looking for a sign, this card might just be it. It's a huge message about the amazing rewards that come from good old-fashioned persistence, so let's dive in and see what he's all about. Okay, here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to meet this grounded knight and really get his vibe. Then, we'll look at his two sides, the upright hero and the reversed, well, let's just say less than heroic side. After that, we'll figure out what message he has specifically for you, and we'll wrap it all up with the big lesson he's here to teach us.
So who is this guy, really? Well, you can think of him as the embodiment of steady, reliable effort. He isn't flashy, he's not fast, but make no mistake, he is probably the single most persistent force in the entire tarot deck.
At his core, this knight is all about what's practical. He's the guy who knows that big dreams don't just happen by magic. They're built with a solid plan, a serious work ethic, and the sheer dedication to see it through no matter how boring the work gets.
And these traits really paint the full picture, don't they? He's that person you can always count on. Super stable, loyal, and incredibly patient. He's ambitious, he's protective, but that same strength can also make him a little conservative and, yeah, maybe a bit stubborn. It's that classic earth sign energy, grounded, methodical, and not a huge fan of change.
And this is where you really see the two sides of this knight. It's like a coin flip. When he's upright, he's the absolute best. Patient, responsible, a real pillar of strength. But when you flip that coin, every single one of his strengths becomes its total opposite. Patience becomes impatience, and that loyal hero, he can become a really unreliable mess.
All right, so let's dive into the good stuff. Let's talk about the knight in his element. When he's upright and channeling all that amazing, earthy energy into something productive and meaningful. This is him at his absolute best.
So, getting the upright knight in a reading, that is fantastic news. Some people even call it a wish card. But there's a little catch. It's not a free ride. Your wish isn't just going to magically poof into existence. What the card is actually telling you is that you have the grit, you have the determination to make it come true yourself through your own hard work. When it comes to love, this card is all about security. It's pointing to a loyal, faithful partner. The kind who shows their love not with big, flashy romantic gestures, but by being there, day in and day out, providing stability and working hard for your future together. We're talking about a rock-solid foundation.
And for your career, the Knight of Pentacles is a sign that your methodical, common-sense approach is exactly what's needed right now. So the message here is keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting in that effort, because this card is basically a guarantee that your dedication is going to get noticed. Recognition, rewards, they're on the way.
And if health has been a concern, this card is such a welcome sight. It signals a return to strength, a real physical recovery. And the path forward isn't some big secret. It's all about getting back to the basics. Good food, proper rest, and moving your body. Simple, but so effective.
But what happens when all that steady energy just stops? Or even worse, what if it becomes obsessive? Well, that's when we meet the reversed knight. And he's a serious cautionary tale about what happens when potential goes totally off the rails. Oh, the reversed knight. He is the undisputed master of the unfinished project. He stands for broken promises, really impractical choices, and just a total failure to follow through on anything. All that amazing potential for greatness, it just fizzles out, all because of a lack of effort.
And what's really interesting is that this negative energy can pull him in two totally different directions. On one end of the spectrum, you've got the slacker, just lazy, unreliable, no ambition whatsoever. But on the other extreme, you get the workaholic, someone so obsessed with money and status that they forget about everything and everyone else, becoming just dull. In a love reading, this card is a big red flag. It could be pointing to an unreliable partner who just won't commit. Or it could mean that a once stable relationship has just gotten stuck in a rut, becoming stagnant and boring because nobody's putting in the effort anymore.
And it's the exact same story with your career. The reverse knight can mean there's a total lack of drive or focus, or It could be a major warning that you're deep in workaholic territory, sacrificing your personality and your health for that next promotion.
You guessed it. In health, it's all about that same dangerous imbalance. It's either a warning against completely neglecting your body, or it's flagging an unhealthy, over-the-top obsession with fitness and how you look. The key, as always with this night, is finding that healthy, happy middle ground.
So, we've seen the good and we've seen the bad. But what does this all mean for you? Let's translate this into a direct message. What is this night actually trying to tell you right now?
If you get this card upright, the advice is actually pretty straightforward and super powerful. It's basically saying, look at that big goal in front of you, but don't get overwhelmed. First, figure out what the obstacles are. Then just tackle them one by one. With patience and perseverance, you absolutely will get there.
Now the reverse message, it's a lot more blunt. Honestly, it's a wake-up call. It's telling you that your dreams are going to slip right through your fingers if you don't do something. The message is crystal clear. Stop waiting around for things to magically happen. The power is in your hands, so you've got to use it.
Okay, so that brings us to the big lesson here, the ultimate takeaway from the Knight of Pentacles. When you boil it all down, it's about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance between ambition and just letting things slide.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the card. You know, in our world, everything is about speed, about moving faster. It's so easy to feel like you're falling behind. But the Knight of Pentacles is this beautiful reminder that real, lasting success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's built with steady, consistent, patient work.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Taking a little inspiration from this night's incredible focus, what's one big, important, long-term goal in your life that's truly worthy of your patient and persistent effort? Maybe starting today.